The Alcaraz saga isn't slowing down, not even a little. Just when you thought Carlos was the only tennis prodigy in the family, boom, here comes his little brother Jamie, strutting onto the big stage at just 13 years old. This kid isn't just swinging rackets for fun. He's already been called up by the Spanish Tennis Federation to compete in the Winter Cup, an indoor European championship set to take place in Altamira, Italy. Jamie, who just turned 13 in June, will be part of the Spanish squad alongside Rafael Garcia Domecq from Valencia and Pepe Garcia Ruiz from Seville, all under the watchful eye of their coach, Nicolas Perez. Spain isn't going just to make up the numbers. These kids are aiming to go deep into the tournament, with the dream of reaching the finals in Germany. No pressure, right? Meanwhile, big bro Carlos is out there doing what he does best, wrecking opponents and stacking trophies. At only 21, the guy has already snatched 16 professional titles, including 4 Grand Slams, and he's itching to reclaim the ATP #1 spot that he once held. And if you think that's impressive, get this, Jamie might actually have a better backhand than Carlos did at his age. At least that's what their dad, Carlos Alcaraz Gonzalez, has been saying. And let's be honest, if anyone knows, it's him. Jamie isn't just some random kid picking up a racket because his brother is famous. He's already proving himself. He's tearing it up at the Real Sociedad Club de Campo de Murcia, and he even bagged the U12 Rafa Nadal Tour title in Madrid, something that Carlos also won 6 years before, both in the U12 and U14 categories. Clearly, winning runs in the blood. The Alcaraz family isn't exactly short on tennis talent. Carlos has 3 brothers. Alvaro, the oldest, is part of his team, while Sergio is somewhere in the middle. Jamie, the youngest, is now gearing up for his first major international tournament as part of the Spanish youth team. The zonal phase of the Winter Cup kicks off from January 29th to February 2nd, and if they make it through, they'll be heading to the big finals from February 13th to 16th. While all of this is happening, Carlos is making some pretty big life changes off the court. The guy isn't just smashing records, he's now building himself a massive family house in Murcia. That's right, after spending years bouncing between Villena, where he trains, and his family's apartment in Murcia, he's finally putting down some serious roots. With all the cash he's raking in from dominating the ATP circuit, he's decided it's time for an upgrade. For now, there aren't too many details about the new house, but it's set to be finished in about 2 years. The idea? A proper family HQ where he can relax with his parents, siblings, and probably throw in a trophy room big enough to fit all his silverware. Not a bad way to spend his millions, huh? The guy leading the whole Alcaraz operation is none other than their father, Carlos Alcaraz Gonzalez. He's the mastermind behind Carlos' rise to tennis superstardom, the one who got him into the sport in the first place and made sure he stayed on the right path. Gonzalez himself was a former player, though he never made it to the professional level, so he decided to make damn sure his son did. And now, with Jamie looking like he might be the next big thing, it's clear this guy knows exactly what he's doing. One thing's for sure, the tennis world better be ready, because the Alcaraz family is just getting started. Carlos Alcaraz might be the name that's got the tennis world buzzing, but let's get one thing straight, behind every champion, there's a mother keeping everything from going off the rails. Enter Virginia Garcia, the queen of the Alcaraz household, the woman holding down the fort in a family overflowing with testosterone. When you've got 4 boys running wild, someone's gotta bring the balance, and Virginia does it like a damn pro. She's a regular fixture in Carlos matches, especially in Grand Slams and Masters tournaments, where she's often spotted watching with that mix of pride, nerves, and I will whoop your ass if you act up energy that only a mom can pull off. Now, let's talk about the Alcaraz brothers, because this family is basically a sports academy in human form. Carlos is the second of 4, and the eldest, Alvaro, is 4 years ahead of him. He's not just there to play the big brother role. He's actually a part of Carlos' team, serving as a sparring partner and personal confidant. If you ever see Carlos having deep, bro-to-bro convos after a match, odds are it's with Alvaro. Then comes Sergio, smack in the middle of his teenage years, and unlike his older brothers, he's not obsessed with tennis. He's all about football. He's probably the only Alcaraz who doesn't have rackets lying around the house. And finally, there's Jamie, the youngest of the bunch, who is basically a mini Carlos in the making. This kid isn't just playing for fun. He's already making a name for himself in the junior circuit, picking up trophies at the national level and trying to follow in his big bro's footsteps. And then there's Grandpa Carlos, because apparently, the family ran out of names at some point. At 87 years old, he's been a huge influence in Carlos' life, especially in his early years when he was still just a kid swinging a racket for fun. He's not the type to hog the spotlight, but he's the man behind Carlos' famous motto, Cabeza, Corazon y Cojones. Well, technically, just the first two, but let's be real, Carlos has taken that last part to heart too. The dude practically engraved it into his grandson's brain, and now Carlos repeats it like a battle cry every time he steps on the court. Speaking of the next Alcaraz generation, Carlos is already sounding the alarm about the pressure his little brother is facing. This Sunday, after securing a spot in the Australian Open quarterfinals, he took a moment to warn against piling too many expectations on Jamie, who's still just 13. The kid is making waves though. On Saturday, he grabbed a victory in France's legendary Les Petits As tournament, which has been a proving ground for names like Rafael Nadal and Juan Ferrero, aka Carlos' coach. I saw the result, but I couldn't talk to him yet. I did speak to my mom though, she's over there with him, and she told me he played really well, Carlos shared after his match in Melbourne. I remember playing that tournament at his age. I made so many friends, had so much fun. I love that he's now getting to experience that same journey. One thing's for sure, the Alcaraz family isn't just raising tennis players, they're raising legends. And if Jamie keeps up his current trajectory, Carlos might soon have some serious competition inside his own house. Carlos Alcaraz has a brand new game plan to claw his way back to the top, and he's not messing around. The start of his season hasn't exactly gone as planned. His one and only mission was to win the Australian Open, but that dream crashed and burned in the quarterfinals. And who was the executioner? None other than Novak King Djokovic, who, despite being on the ropes, managed to turn things around and send Carlos packing in 4 sets. Alcaraz had been in full control, dominating the match, until his game short-circuited out of nowhere. 1 minute, he was outplaying the 24-time Grand Slam champion, and the next, he was looking like a deer in headlights. That loss wasn't just painful, it also opened the door for Jannik Sinner to get even closer to stealing the world #1 ranking after winning the title. But there's no time to sit around feeling sorry for himself. Alcaraz has already reset his focus on what's ahead. Back in Spain, after taking a short break at home, he's hit the training courts again with one goal in mind: level up his game and come back stronger. He's got a mountain of work ahead because, as he admitted in Melbourne, he's still fine-tuning his new serve and adjusting to a more aggressive style of play. He's getting there, but there are still some kinks to iron out. This year, he's also shaken up his schedule, and there's barely any time to breathe before his next tournament. Unlike in previous seasons, where he jetted off to South America, this time he's keeping things closer to home and will make his next stop in Rotterdam. Starting Saturday, he'll be stepping onto the Dutch courts as the #1 seed, thanks to Sinner pulling out. This is a golden opportunity, not just to get match ready and spend more hours on the court, but also to rebuild his confidence. A win here could be the perfect morale boost to get his season back on track. And let's be real, he needs every win he can get. From the American hard-court swing onward, he's got a ton of points to defend, and right now, he's not sitting comfortably in the rankings. He can't afford to slip any further, so every single tournament matters. With Sinner's triumph in Australia, the gap between them in terms of big titles is getting dangerously small. It's clear as day that Alcaraz and Sinner are the future of men's tennis, two young titans set to dominate the sport for years to come. Their rivalry is only just beginning, and every match between them will be a battle for the ages. In the midst of all this, Italian tennis legend Nicola Pietrangeli has thrown his 2 cents into the conversation. In an interview with La Gazzetta dello Sport, he didn't hold back, declaring that Alcaraz is the only player capable of stopping Sinner. According to Pietrangeli, everyone else? Just extras in the movie. The only guy who can beat Sinner is Alcaraz, he said. The rest? Background characters. He even doubled down, saying that when Sinner is playing at his peak, he's basically untouchable. The only way he loses is if he's sick or had a *TTY night's sleep. So, buckle up, because the Alcaraz-Sinner era is officially in full swing. These two are about to take the tennis world by storm, and we're here for every single second of it. If you loved this video, don't forget to subscribe and drop a like. At Tennis Extra, we're dedicated to bringing you the best content for the best fans. From deep dive analysis to exclusive interviews and full tournament coverage, we've got everything you need to stay on top of the tennis world. Join our community and experience the thrill of every tournament with us.